Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. You know, there are some crazy things that we do to our Toyota Tacomas that sometimes end up even doing more harm, or at worst, don't do anything at all. Let's run through a few and leave a comment down below if you disagree with me. But don't just tell me you disagree with me. Tell me why you disagree with me. Number one, front end paint protection. You know, that ceramic coating or film that a lot of people put on the front of their trucks. I mean, let's be honest. If you're driving down the road and a rock comes flying up, that little thin piece of protection is not going to protect your front end, your paint. You're still going to have a dent. If it's big enough, it's going to rip right through that stuff and scratch up or chip off your paint anyway. I think it's just a gimmick. Now, that's not to say that it won't work for light things. I mean, if a feather is blowing up in the road when you're driving, it certainly will stop it from damaging your paint. But that's really about it. Premium fuel. I always get a kick out of people that leave comments that tell me that they're burning premium fuel and they don't need anything else in terms of throttle response or fuel economy. I don't need a pedal commander because I'm burning premium fuel. Well, that's a bunch of BS. I've done it myself. I've tried. Because believe me, I wouldn't have a problem burning premium fuel if it got rid of throttle lag or maybe gave me better fuel economy, but it doesn't work. It's the placebo effect. You know, people do something, and I'm guilty of it. People do something and they immediately think that whatever they've done has solved whatever problem they have. Suddenly my truck is faster. No, it isn't. Suddenly I'm getting better gas mileage. You're probably driving longer, higher speed distances, or just not stomping on the pedal as much. Doesn't make any difference. Frequent oil changes. You know, getting the oil changed with modern oil that we have, as well as the engines, the way that they run, getting it changed any more frequently than what the manufacturer recommends is unnecessary. Unless, of course, you're just looking to increase the wealth of the oil manufacturers. Then it helps them, so I guess it's good for the economy. But as far as your truck goes, it doesn't make any difference. And this is one of those where it could even cause some harm if you take it somewhere to have it done. You know, the tech's not paying attention, doesn't tighten everything up right, doesn't get the oil filter tight, or maybe doesn't change it at all, and doesn't get the oil plug back in right, or leaves it out altogether. I mean, that's big problems, right? You're just trying to increase, you think, the longevity of your Tacoma, when in essence, you're putting it at more risk. Leaving the tailgate down. You know, leaving the tailgate down, there's this big theory out there, which has been disproven by many people many times, that if you drive around with your tailgate down, you're somehow going to get better gas mileage because it reduces the drag on the truck. It just flows. The air flows through better when you have that tailgate down. It's not true. There have been many studies, many people who have tested it real world. It doesn't make any difference. It does not matter. Cold air intakes. You know, I was guilty of this one a little bit myself, thinking from all the verbiage, all the stuff that I had read and researched, all a bunch of BS, that I'm going to get more power, that I'm going to get better fuel economy. I've had enough of them now. In my experience, over 5 years or coming up on 5 years of doing mods and things to the Tacoma, I'm here to tell you it makes no difference. The only thing that it's going to do, there's two things. One, it's going to give you something to look at under the hood, right? Dresses it up under there, and I like that. And two, they're going to give you a little bit more sound. Now, this could be a good thing. Might save you some money on exhausts because now you've taken care of it with typically a much cheaper cold air intake. Next up, these windshields, this Gorilla Glass stuff. You know, it's the latest and greatest fallacy, I think, that you can put this Gorilla Glass on your windshield or replace it with Gorilla Glass, and somehow you're going to be immune to chips and cracks and stuff like that. It's not true. Doesn't make any difference. If a big enough rock hits your windshield, you're going to have a chip. You're going to have a crack. You could even have the whole thing spiderweb out. It just depends. That stuff is not like armor. It doesn't make any difference other than it increases the wealth of the Gorilla Glass people, and it gives you a false sense of security, I guess. I've seen many people who've done it. I've heard comments from people who have done it, and they've stated that it makes no difference. And no, I've never done it myself, and I haven't done it because I just can't see spending the kind of money you have to spend to get Gorilla Glass for absolutely no reason. LED lights on the interior of your truck. Now, I'm talking specifically here. I'm talking about LED lights on your visor in front of the mirrors. I've experienced this myself. I put them into my truck, and then I opened up that mirror, you know, to primp and put my makeup on, and I was blinded. They're too bright. Now, that's not to say that they don't have a place other spots in your truck, like the dome light, where, you know, you'd want it to be bright. Maybe the headlights, the tail lights, things like that, but definitely not in the mirrors on your visors. And I love how people tell me, oh, it's no problem, I've done it. Oh, come on, man. There's no way. I've done it myself. I look into that light and I'm blinded. Lastly, washing your vehicle or washing your vehicle frequently. Now, let me say, I'll be the first to tell you, I love the look of a nice, clean Toyota Tacoma. I really do. But I don't like washing them. Now, that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm more talking about the damage caused by doing so. You know, if you run through those car washes that slap and smack your paint as you're being pulled through, how often do you think they clean those things? Not very often. What about the damage they can cause? Ripping your mirror covers off, busting your antenna if you happen to drive a truck that has one, and other things. Maybe you forgot you put a tonneau on the back, drove through one of those, and now you have a nice open bed. Just look around next time you go to one of those car washes at all the old parts that are stacked up in the corners. Those are things that have been ripped off of vehicles. Scratches. I'm talking about the kind that happen when you do it yourself. You know, unless you are very vigilant, and let's face it, after the, I don't know, 100th time of washing your Tacoma every other day, how vigilant are you? Do you use 2, 3, 4 buckets? Do you grab a new mitt every time you wash the truck? Do you throw it in the washer? By the way, let me give you a little tip. If you do throw it in your washer and you're trying to keep it clean, don't use fabric softener. Fabric softener will embed little bits of stuff in your mitt and they'll scratch your paint. How do I know this? I've done it with my glasses. I used to have a dedicated rag that I would clean my glasses with, not these, the other ones, the clear ones. And suddenly I developed all these little micro scratches. And then I did some research. How could this be happening? I'm very careful. I washed my cloths because I used fabric softener. And it embedded all these nice little things that make that fabric feel soft, that are abrasive and scratch up your glass. Anyway, those are just a few crazy things that we do that can even be bad for your Toyota Tacoma, or they do no good at all. Again, leave a comment down below. Let me know. Do you agree? I'd be curious. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.